Hello and welcome. It's so great to see you here. My name is Karen Zink, and I help people struggling with their health and wellness to wade through all the information out there and grab tidbits of knowledge that they can use to impact their health and wellness journey and that of their family to go out and live their best life. As I said, my name is Karen Zink, and this is episode 5. And normally I do an episode on a health and wellness topic, but today I'm going to do a book review. I'm doing that because this book gives me some clarity and some steps to follow that are really simple steps. It doesn't mean it's easy to do. It means that there is a plan in place for setting and accomplishing and achieving goals. And I believe that carries over into our health and wellness in any decisions that we make or choose to undertake in our health and wellness journey. So a lot of this book will be very simple, like smack your forehead moments like, well, duh, this is obvious, or this is, yeah, I know this. This is so simple. But when you think about it, do you actually sit down and go through these simple steps? Because that process is not easy. So, and when we're busy and we've got a lot of stuff going on, we tend not to do the things that aren't easy. So I'm hoping that my summary that I'm going to present to you will be useful to you, and that you can take away that you'd like to delve in more and read more about it, and you'll know areas that you can focus on to help you on your health and wellness journey, in addition to that of your life. So the book I'm reviewing is The Compound Effect: Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, and Your Success. And it's by Darren Hardy. And so we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to give it a good summary and review for you. So I hope that you get a good sense of the book and what you can get out of it. Okay, I found this book, The Compound Effect, after listening to a free YouTube recording of the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, Why Now is the Time to Join the Ride, by Darren Hardy. I do laps in the pool, and I will listen to podcasts and various speakers and stuff. And I ran across this one day on YouTube, and I started listening to it, and I really enjoyed it. And so I looked up more books by Darren Hardy, and I found The Compound Effect: Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, and Your Success, which I'm going to refer to as The Compound Effect in a short title form. This book is written. It's an easy read. It's a quick read, but there's a lot packed into it. And what it did was it prompted me to shift about my thinking about how I set goals for things and how I go about achieving success, or what I would define as success, in different parts of my life. One of the quotes from the book is exactly what I needed to hear when I read it. You alone are responsible for what you do or don't do, or how you respond to what's done to you. We all know this, but in this day and age, we see a lot of people not taking responsibility for themselves, their actions, their choices. And I just needed to hear again that I was always taught that you do take responsibility, but it's hard to fight against the tide of life the way it is right now. So we need to take that quote and embrace it. Yes, it is up to us. It's up to me. It's up to me what I choose to do or not do. And it's up to me on how I react to things that I don't control. And I think that that's an important message that we can all get, and that we need to teach our kids nowadays. So let's jump in. This book, what is the compound effect? It is the principle that decisions shape your destiny, and how little everyday decisions will, by default, either take you to the life you desire or to disaster. This book presents simple to follow steps to identify what holds you back, how you can move along or beyond those things. But don't get confused here when I say it's simple, or it doesn't mean it's easy. It's not easy to sit down and do some of these things. If it were easy, everyone would be wildly successful in everything they choose to do in life. And we know that that's just not the case. The principles in the book are really common sense, if you think about it. But sometimes we're so caught up in our busy lives and our struggles and our everyday to day that we're more going through the motions and we don't actually think anymore. If this post, this blog post and this episode get you to think a little bit more, then I'm going to be thrilled, because that's kind of the goal of this book review. So who is Darren Hardy and why should I listen to him? Well, he's a former founding publisher and CEO of Success Magazine. He's a New York Times bestselling author, an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and he's currently a success coach to CEOs all over the world. And he's been a success mentor for 25 years. So I'll have a couple resources listed in my blog post that goes along with this video over on KarenCzinc.com, and it lists some other ways that you can get in touch with Darren Hardy and his work, and I'm happy to provide those resources for you. And what we're going to do is talk about 6 principles, and they're simple. They're not a secret, but most people just go about their lives and don't even think about them. You know these secrets to success already. So does everybody. But taking action on them is the key that many people miss. So these 6 strategies will help you change your life if you actually do them. So no matter what you learn or what strategy or tactic you employ, all of the success ever experienced is from the compound effect. In the foreword, Tony Robbins really kind of nails it for me. He says, success isn't about doing 5,000 different things well. Success is doing the right things 5,000 times over. So this principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices, you'll see the results can be small, but they add up over time, and that is the compound effect. We live in a society that is increasingly shirking hard work. It's all around us. You've noticed it. I've noticed it. The problem with that, according to Darren Hardy, is the compound effect still works on these people. If you don't want to work, it works. If you do want to work, it works. So that leads you to reaping either positive or the negative effects of the compound effect. So whether you want it or not, you are experiencing the compound effect in your life. Every decision we make or don't make, remember, not making a decision is a choice too, it impacts the trajectory of our life. You can apply this decision to your health, a choice that affects your health or a choice that you don't make that affects your health. Why do we make a bad choice or fail to make a good choice? Hardy claims it's because we are sleepwalking through our choices, and this is how we sabotage ourselves, and I tend to agree. So one of the quotes in the book, you make your choices and then your choices make you. That, I think, is a profound statement because it's so very true. Not making a choice is a choice. Making a choice is a choice. So what do you choose? Do you choose the choice that's going to propel you towards success, or are you going to choose the choices that are going to hold you back? So he, in the book, the author provides a tool for how to make choices. Basically, pick an area that you want to be successful in. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get fitter? Do you want to drop your body fat? Do you want to improve your financial situation? Do you want to, be more successful in your job? That type of thing. Picture where you are now and where you want to go. And then track every single action that you take to try to get there. Every day, every single action that you take to try to get there. No excuses. This process will help you put the compound effect into action because winners are trackers. We find that true in everything we do. If you don't know what you're eating and you're trying to lose weight, you need to track it. If you track it, you're aware of what you're doing, and you're able to make changes. That makes you a winner when you start achieving what you want. You come from a position of knowledge. The magic that happens with this compound effect is in actually doing the work every day, actually doing that specific task of documenting. You're more aware of everything that you're doing and every decision that you make in trying to get to that goal. So, successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not. We've heard that before. So be one of those that's willing to put the work in to go from where you are now to where you want to be and make those smart choices along the way. Darren Hardy also puts in the book a quote by Aristotle that says, "We are what we repeatedly do," which is true. The author talks about his work with great achievers, CEOs, superstars in their areas of influence, and says that they have one common trait: a daily routine built on good habits. That's what they all have in common. In this chapter, in chapter 3 of the book, he talks about how to create a routine of champion habits. How did they go about doing this? Because it's right here for you too. And so, number 1, start thinking your way out of the instant gratification trap. What is that trap? That's the trap that you get pulled into by the instant gratification of bad choices. Oh, I'm watching my weight. I need to lose a couple pounds for my health, but I really, really want this big old ice cream sundae because it's going to make me feel so good right now. That is the instant gratification I feel, of feeling good right now, but a bad choice I made leading to my goal, which in the end I will actually end up feeling really bad about myself. And knowing me, I will double beat myself up about it. So you want to not, sometimes it is best to put the gratification off as you lead your way to your goal or your journey. Find your mojo. You can't rely on willpower. You will only be able to make changes and get rid of bad habits and replace them with good habits if you connect your actions to your why, to your dreams, to your desires. You've got to know your why. It's non-negotiable. And that's what makes all of this possible. That is going to be what drives you. Make sure that your why engages your core motivation. You want to make sure the why engages your core values and your core motivation. Make sure that your why and the choices that flow from that correspond and kind of jive with your internal values. If not, your head and your heart will always be in conflict, and it will be hard to have that warring going on while you're trying to reach your goal. So just make sure that your why aligns with your core values. You also want to find your fight. You can be motivated by something you want or something you don't want, and having to fight for whatever that is challenges all of our skills. It tests our courage and our resolve. Use that power. Use the power of maybe somebody telling you you can't do something. Use that power, oh yes I can, to put into reaching that goal. Maybe the prove them wrong, comes into effect there and helps you along your way. But it's important to harness that energy and put it to work for the good towards our goals. And goals, define them, map out your vision. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. The compound effect is always working, so it can't work for you if it doesn't know where you're going. So that's important, and those are kind of how to create a routine of champions and create positive habits to make you a champion. The author also goes into a quick discussion of setting your goals that you might find useful, and also covers 5 strategies for eliminating bad habits. You may want to check that out if you've got some bad habits you want to let go of. And he presents 6 techniques for installing good habits, so replacing the bad with the good. And did you know research indicates it takes 300 instances of positive reinforcement to turn a new habit into an unconscious action. So, number one, set yourself up to succeed. Get rid of anything, eliminate anything that may stand in your way or interfere with your new habit. Think of adding things in versus taking things away. Instead of focusing on what you have to eliminate, focus on what you can add in to the equation. Go for PDA, a public display of accountability. Post on Facebook, tell your friends, your family, do a little TikTok dance about it, whatever. Public accountability will pressure you into keeping going when you don't feel like it. It might just keep that motivation level for you going when you feel like quitting. Find a success buddy. Everything's easier with a friend, so find somebody to work with. Competition and camaraderie. A little friendly competition is a great motivator for you. Start up a competition with friends or family. And celebrate. Enjoy your victories. Every single small victory, have a celebration. Give a reward to yourself daily for achieving your water goals, drinking, half your body weight in water or whatever it happens to be. Give them weekly, give them monthly, as often as it takes for you to keep going. And keep reinforcing that with your consistency and your commitment as often as you can, and you will see your scales move towards your goal much faster. Okay, now we're going to talk about chapter 4. He talks about momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is that one thing that helped the rich get richer, the happy get happier, and the lucky get luckier. In this chapter, Hardy explains how to harness the power of momentum to work for you. It's not easy building momentum, and it's not going to appear anytime you want it, like, I think I'm going to get some momentum. But once it gets going, it's going to bring big results to you. Just as the compound effect works whether you do or not, so does momentum. So he in this chapter, he'll go over steps into getting into momentum, things that you can do to start, and what are some of the keys to helping us achieve momentum. And the key, one of the big keys, is routines. Routines can be powerful good or powerful bad. And in chapter 4, Darren Hardy goes over the reasons and some illustrations for good and bad routines and how to actually build good routines. So you're going to want to check out chapter 5 for sure, so that you can get motivation working for you in your life to get you to those goals. Chapter 5 goes into influences. In this chapter, the author talks about the forces that can influence us and our choices. They're categorized as the input. These are things that we feed into our mind. There are associations, which is people that we spend time with, and environment, which is our surroundings, which encompasses pretty much everything else. He gives us some tips for managing these influences in our life. A lot of influences will be good, a lot may be bad. And if you're trying to do good things in a bad environment, it's going to be hard to work against that. So he gives tips in chapter 5, talking about how to overcome some of these influences and how to reinforce some of the good ones in your life. And then in chapter 6, he starts this chapter by talking about Desiree Linden, the first American woman to win the Boston Marathon in 2018. During the race, she hit a wall. I think if you're a runner or you know that there's a wall out there, and sometimes we hit it. It can be in life too. You can hit the wall in life. And she thought about quitting the race, but interview afterwards, obviously she didn't quit the race. She went on to finish, and I guess it was a downpour. It was raining. She was pretty miserable. And she was asked by a reporter afterwards some questions, and in the interview, Desiree said to a reporter, well, it's supposed to be hard. So yes, getting to your goal or to your achievement is supposed to be hard. And this is the chapter where we are shown how the Compound effect can help us break through those walls and achieve even greater levels of success. And we can do this faster than we ever thought possible. Hardy writes that when you're prepared, practiced, studied, and consistently put in the required effort, sooner or later, you're going to be presented with your own moment of truth. Just as Desiree was in her run, she hit that wall. That was her moment of truth. How do we overcome that wall, accelerate through that wall? How did she do this? How did she run in the rain in 35-mile-an-hour winds, miserable conditions, feeling pretty yucky? How did she go on to finish? Well, everyone faces challenges. It's what you do after you hit that wall that counts. Lou Holtz talks about it in the book. Darren Hardy talks about Lou Holtz, and his team was down 42-0 at halftime of a football game. And he showed his team that it's the extra effort after you've done your best that becomes the difference maker, and they went out and won the game after halftime. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. That's an excellent quote from Jim Rohn. It's supposed to be hard. It will be hard. You will have to work. But it's important that we work smartly to take advantage of that compound effect. Take advantage of the momentum that we can gain. A little extra effort brings great results. Pushing just a little bit harder pays off in big dividends. Hardy says that viewing yourself as your toughest competitor is a good way to increase your results. Do more than enough and exceed expectations. And that's the formula to accelerate your compounded results. So all in all, my view of the book was it's a great book. It's simple. It's easy to read. It's understandable. It lays out a lot of steps, 5 steps, 4 steps, 6 steps of things that you can do in certain areas of your life to help you achieve your goals and achieve success. He's done this with millionaires, billionaires for 25 years, and he's like a success guru. I'm totally going to look at giving this book to my kids. My husband and I give them books periodically that we think are a good foundation for them. They're in college now. We gave them Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover when they graduated high school. I think this will be the one that they will probably get for Christmas this year to go in their pile of books to maybe read when they're older, or read one day when they're struggling and they pick something up and can get a nugget of information out of it. Totally recommend it. Anyway, be sure to check out my blog at www.karencinc.com, and I'll have more information and some resources from Darren Hardy on there. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.